Bad Larry.
Welcome back, Bad Larry Kingdom. I'm your host, Bad Larry, and today we have a very special episode. The very first appearance of one of Spider-Man's most popular foes, the Lizard. This comes from the Amazing Spider-Man number 6, released in 1963, written by Stan Lee and drawn by Steve Ditko. Let's check it out. On the cover, we see the Lizard in both purple pants and a purple lab coat, which is not how he ever appears in this issue or ever to my knowledge. Any Spider-Man fans down there, bleep bloop down below, the reason why the Lizard looks like this on the cover, and we never see this look again. Also, his eyes are different as well. They're all blacked out. Someone tell us why this is down in the comments. This issue is called Face to Face with the Lizard, and what is interesting is that Spider-Man is a new character to Marvel and the world in 1963, while the Fantastic Four have been the number one hero / hero team in comic book. Already, by book 6, Spider-Man's rise to the top is apparent, and still, 61 years later, Spider-Man is still the most popular superhero on the planet. We jump right into the thick of it. The Lizard is battling some human hunters down in the swamps of Florida. We learn bullets just bounce right off the Lizard, and his physical strength is immense, able to rip a huge-ass tree apart like it was cardboard. The Lizard can talk as well. The Lizard becomes super famous around the country, and of course, J. Jonah Jameson wants to get in on the action. Selling papers is his thing. So he puts out an open challenge for Spider-Man to battle the Lizard. But how is teenage Peter Parker, who is super poor, going to be able to fly to Florida from New York City without suspicion? Peter Parker tries to convince J. Jonah Jameson to sponsor a trip to Florida to get some exclusive pics for the Daily Bugle. Just as I thought, J. Jonah Jameson says, hell no, that was just to sell papers. Triple J doesn't even think the Lizard is real. Oh well, Peter Parker heads to the museum to learn more about lizards and spots two thugs being shifty. The thugs also spot Peter Parker. Peter Parker dips into the bathroom and changes into his Spider-Man suit. The guards realize the two thugs stole a ruby, but the thugs take Liz, his blonde schoolmate, as a hostage. Spider-Man gets the old drop on the two thugs. With one punch, it's lights out for those gangsters. Spider-Man rizzes up Liz, like you do, and swings off. Now Liz is a super Spider-Man fan. But now fun time is over. Gotta change back into Peter Parker before anyone notices. The national news is now asking why Spider-Man hasn't gone after the Lizard. So Peter Parker puts his foot down and decides the battle is on. But first, gotta get Triple J on board, and only Spider-Man can do that. Spider-Man's plan worked. He convinced J. Jonah Jameson to send Peter Parker down to Florida to get those exclusive pics, but Triple J is tagging along as well. Wah wah. On the flight to Florida, Peter Parker's doing some research on the Lizard, known's location, and stumbles upon an article about a reptile expert named Dr. Curtis Connors, who lives in the area. Peter Parker is going to try and get some help from this Dr. Connors. Spider-Man easily avoids the police guarding the area known to be the Lizard's territory. Even though Spider-Man evaded the cops, he caught the Lizard's attention. The Lizard tracks Spider-Man through the water and then pounces on Spider-Man like a gator stalking a gazelle and dragging it into the water. Spider-Man fights off the Lizard and they both jump out of the water. Spider-Man and the Lizard square up. Spider-Man realizes it's not a dude in a costume. This thing is real. Spider-Man dodges a tail attack that destroys a tree. The Lizard is wicked strong. Spider-Man grabs the Lizard's tail but gets sent flying nearly a half a mile for it. Spider-Man realizes he needs Dr. Connors' help to learn more about how to defeat this Lizard. Spider-Man goes to Doc Connors' home to find his wife sobbing. The wife spills the beans to Spider-Man that Dr. Connors is, in fact, the Lizard. Backstory: Dr. Connors lost his arm in the military, developed a serum from reptile DNA, and was able to regrow his arm. But, obviously, there was a side effect to his serum. The serum causes Dr. Connors to transform into the lizard. The lizard tried to make a reverse serum, but is too dumb as the lizard to do it. So he left his wife and now roams the swamps nearby as king of the lizard people and reptiles. Suddenly, Spider-Man hears a boy scream, "It's Billy, Doc Connors' son, about to be attacked by a huge snake!" Spider-Man swings into action, saving the boy with the lizard watching. A punch almost breaks Spider-Man's hand. The lizard's skin is too tough. The lizard is too strong. Not even Spider-Man's web has any effect on him. Only the voice of the lizard's wife causes the lizard to retreat into the swamp. Spider-Man reads Doc Connors' notes, and because Peter Parker is a super nerd, he feels like he may be able to find an antidote to cure the lizard. Spider-Man whips up the antidote, like you do, but how is he going to get the lizard to drink it? Suddenly, the lizard busts in. They realize every minute that passes, the more they lose Doc Connors, and the lizard becomes more savage. The lizard wins this round against Spider-Man quite easily, actually. The lizard plans to use his serum to make a reptile army and rule the world. Spider-Man needs to find the lizard and get him to drink this antidote. But how? How can he defeat the lizard, who is so powerful, while also saving the man inside Doc Connors, who is trapped in there somewhere? Spider-Man uses his spidey senses to track the lizard into an old Spanish fort. The lizard is surrounded by gators, but they listen to him like they're his pets. The old fort crumbles, sending Spider-Man to the floor. Round 2 versus the lizard is on, but this time there's gators to contend with. Spider-Man tries to climb away from the gators, but the lizard can climb walls too. The lizard has sandwiched Spider-Man between him and the gators below. They're crumbling the wall. Spider-Man swings out of danger, but only for a moment. The lizard continues to pursue Spider-Man. Spider-Man's webbing has no effect on the lizard. Speed is the only advantage for Spider-Man. Spider-Man tries to trap the lizard in a cell, but the gators prevent that plan. Time to climb up, but the lizard can climb as well. Spider-Man is trapped in this cell with the lizard. Spider-Man grabs the lizard by the tail and tosses him downward. He has but a split second to retrieve the antidote and pour it into the lizard's mouth. He's done it! Uh-oh, the antidote isn't working! The tail of the lizard hits Spider-Man like a sledgehammer. The antidote was delayed, but starts to turn the lizard back into Doc Connors. But back as a human, old Doc Connors is back to being the old one-armed man. Doc Connors burns his research, so no one else can repeat his experiment. Spider-Man tells Doc Connors and his wife that he'll keep Doc Connors' secret. Peter Parker shows up and delivers those juicy exclusive pics of the lizard to J. Jonah Jameson. But how did ever puny Peter Parker get those pictures? An old Indian guide? Right. Well, J. Jonah Jameson doesn't buy it. He said these pics are fakes. He rips them up and says the lizard isn't even real. The whole trip was a waste of time and money. And where the heck are those Spider-Man pictures? Peter Parker is exhausted from his trip, but Peter Parker has needs, if you know what I mean. He thinks of calling Betty Bryant, but nah, she's too busy dealing with J. Jonah Jameson as his secretary. So Peter Parker calls Liz for a date, but Liz rejects him and says that she's rejected Flash as well. She's waiting for a call from Spider-Man. Poor guy is his own competition. Now, stay tuned for the next episode, which will see the return of the Vulture, as this episode is over. Like the video and comment down below what you thought of this episode, and I'll see you tomorrow. Happy 4th!